Hello, my name is Cristina Raluca Popescu. I'm a full professor at the University of Bucharest, Bucharest, Romania, and at the Bucharest University of Economic Studies, Bucharest, Romania. I'm going to present the paper Securing a Sustainable Future while Addressing Global Climate Change, Promoting a Sustainable Culture, Implementing Environmentally Conscious Policies, and Supporting Operational Practices through Innovation, Research, and Teaching. This paper is prepared together with my colleagues, co-authors, full Professor Veronica Adriana Popescu from the Commercial Academy of Satu Mare, Romania, and the Bucharest University of Economic Studies, Romania, retired, and also full Professor Gheorghe N. Popescu from the Bucharest University of Economic Studies, Bucharest, Romania, Emeritus Professor. This paper was prepared for the Second International Symposium on Political Science and Public Administration, the theme of the symposium being Climate Change and Sustainable Future, the Faculty of Economic and Administrative Sciences, Tekirdağ Namık Kemal University, Turkey, held in Tekirdağ, Turkey on the 28th and the 29th November 2024. To begin with, we would like to focus on the following ideas. According to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, one of the most important challenges due to be addressed these days is climate and economic resilience, especially in a continuously changing world. Moreover, based on the International Monetary Fund, most recent staff papers establishing a price on carbon emissions is believed to offer the most effective ways to stop global warming while focusing on cross-border collaboration in order to support international agreements or carbon pricing. Furthermore, taking into account the most recent studies, sustainability and environmental, social and governance (ESG) issues represent today a top priority for people, communities, and entities all around the globe, with a particular emphasis on the achievement of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. First of all, the current research paper tackles the climate change crisis and the urgency of supporting a net zero carbon future for a more sustainable world for the present and future generations, based on the following ideas. The global temperatures are rising, the polar ice is melting, and the seas levels are rising. Second of all, the paper centers on highlighting the immediate actions as well as the long-term solutions able to mitigate the causes of climate change, mainly with the aid of sustainable finance as a powerful outcome derived both from private and public funds. Third of all, the study focuses on the pivotal role of creativity, innovation, research and development, and teaching in supporting large-scale international collaboration in all sectors in strengthening the global response of climate. The practical approach is represented by presenting the crucial findings from a case study on small and medium-sized enterprises, while displaying the way in which these entities are undertaking the sustainability initiatives. The novelty and originality of research come from the analysis of climate change and the aspects that show how communities are disproportionately affected, the arguments brought to support investments in the global economy, coming from public and private sectors financing in order to amplify the powerful efforts of governance in terms of climate policies, as well as the environmental and social risk management policies, and also the challenges, commitments, and recommendations to take concrete steps to achieve net zero while integrating climate change risks into the overall long-term strategy belonging to the small and medium-sized enterprises. In terms of keywords, we have business environment, climate disclosure report, corporate governance, risk management practices, small and medium-sized enterprises, carbon prices, disclosure of climate risks, green future, green economy, sustainable consulting, sustainable development goals. In the introduction section, we have mentioned the question as well as the ideas represented by the research objectives. The first question here is, what are the key links between securing a sustainable future while addressing global climate change? We had in mind the following ideas. First of all, the fact that the global community ought to focus on climate change by taking continuous climate action in order to face the problems that have occurred in the last decades and which are represented by climate disasters and natural disasters such as droughts, floods, hurricanes, and wildfires, which have come to disrupt the natural economies as well as the livelihoods of individuals. Second of all, the fact that the global community ought to focus on climate change by taking into consideration that some regions present a higher vulnerability and others have a lower vulnerability to climate change, which is also reflected in the mortality rates from drought, floods, and storms. The second question, which is highly interesting, is what would be the best ways of promoting a sustainable culture, implementing environmental conscious policies, and supporting operational practices through innovation, research, and teaching? Here, we need to have in mind, on the one hand, the fact that in order to address climate change, the ambitions of country leaders and organizational managers worldwide ought to be raised so that all the industries, namely agriculture, forestry, food, energy, renewable energy, transport, ought to be transformed in order to limit global temperature rise to well below 2% degrees, maybe even 1% degrees, as stated by the United Nations in the latest report published in 2024. And we also have in mind, on the other hand, the fact that in order to address climate change, more investments should be made in all industries in order to focus on disaster risk reduction. There are several research objectives that we had in mind. The first research objective is represented by creating the right theoretical background or the literature review focused on the key concepts of this paper. Moreover, the second research objective is to display the immediate actions as well as the long-term solutions able to mitigate the causes of climate change, mainly with the aid of sustainable finance as a powerful outcome derived from both public and private funds. In the end, the third research question focuses on the following idea. First of all, the pivotal role of creativity, innovation, research and development, and teaching. And second of all, having in mind the aforementioned ideas, focusing on the practical approach, which is represented by the crucial findings from a case study on small and medium-sized enterprises, while displaying the way in which these entities are undertaking the sustainable initiatives. We have here in the literature review section a very interesting table, a very useful table entitled Securing a Sustainable Future in the Post-COVID-19 Era while Addressing the Challenges of Achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Here we have creating a sustainable future, good decision making, and partnering with communities, businesses, and governments for a better world. While thinking about creating a sustainable future, we have in mind ideas such as creating and securing a sustainable future while tackling climate change and also while focusing on reversing nature loss. When thinking about good decision making, we can focus on the Sustainable Development Goals. We can focus towards complex environmental, social, and economic changes and challenges, as stated by the European Parliament in one report published in 2021. And when focusing on partnering with communities, businesses, and governments, for a better world, we are thinking about prosperity for all, which is generating by finding the appropriate solutions capable to unlock creativity, innovation, and well-being. Moving on, we have another valuable table, table number 2, centering on the immediate actions as well as long-term solutions able to mitigate the causes of climate change. Here we are having in mind major concepts which relate to addressing global challenges like climate inequalities, nature loss, and poverty, or creating one single agenda capable to foster the needs of individuals and appropriate care for nature. While thinking about helping delivering the goals, we have in mind the citizens and communities all around the world that need to be implicated in the decision-making process of inclusive and integrated delivery of the Sustainable Development Goals, which includes a keen focus on protecting nature and civic space so that prosperity will be unlocked. In terms of research and findings, we have displayed here a table which focuses on the case study on sustainable initiatives and the small and medium-sized enterprises and their role in the sustainability initiatives. We have here several priorities in mind. For instance, measuring what matters, helping to develop meaningful indicators for progress. We have a few thoughts regarding the gross domestic product. Here, we stated the fact that it is most commonly used indicator that measures economic growth in the world. However, this indicator does not represent a true indicator of prosperity, having numerous limitations. And we noted here also the fact that we need to focus on appropriate indicators capable to measure sustainability in order to also address aspects related to the environment. We have here the ideas related to sustainability policies, sustainability performance analysis, engagement in greening practices, hence bringing a significant contribution to climate change, and also the idea that we have to focus on the development of an innovative greening indicator. In this matter, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development focuses on aspects such as recycling, solar energy, energy efficiency, renewables, which are among the most memorable environmental movements in which the sustainability development is focused these days. In terms of conclusions, we have stated here that it's very important to focus on indicators capable to measure progress beyond the gross domestic product. And also we have to focus on innovative greening indicators. In this matter, businesses worldwide as well as governments have to focus on the disparities found these days in terms of focusing on the environmental efforts so that we can see a more environmentally engaged society. For the acknowledgement, we would like to deeply thank to distinguished Associate Professor Dr. Sedahas Bostanci from the Faculty of Economics and Administrative Sciences, Tekirdağ Nami Kemal, Tekirdağ, Turkey, for her invitation to be part in this first-rate and delightful international scientific event, and for being so kind to offer us the opportunity to be invited speakers, guest speakers at this prestigious international scientific event. Thank you very much, and we wish you a nice day. Thank you very, very much.